Hello, I am Monkeyman, and today I'm going to talk a bit about Esports WRC and what I think should change for next season on WRC 7. Just got, there's actually WRC 6 playing on screen at the moment. I set a pretty good time on this stage in Wales, so that should be entertaining at the same time. But for those of you who don't know, I've been competing in Esports WRC since the very start, since the shakedown events before Esports WRC Season 1 on WRC 5. I'm doing it because I love Rally, and I mean, honestly, it's the best way to get involved at the moment. I even made the semi-finals in Season 1, and I'm still salty about the crash that happened at those semi-finals, and now I'm on track to hopefully make it to the final of this year's esports. So I feel like I'm in a good position to talk about what's worked and what hasn't worked, and maybe some improvements. That's what this video is about, some improvements for next season that I would like to see that would just make it all around a bit better. So the first thing I'm going to jump into, let's get straight onto this list, is I think there should be a prize at every round of the WRC. So Esports WRC, of course, it follows the full WRC season, and it has a round for each round of the real WRC, but I think it needs to have just some small prize on the line for the winner of each round of the Esports WRC. Of course, Esports WRC does have that massive prize at the end of a Hyundai i20 car, a real car, so that is like hugely awesome, but it is just a bit of a struggle having to spend the whole year training just to end up for the potential to get that one prize at the end of the year. But having some more sort of smaller prizes along the way, I feel like would just be a huge boost to the overall esports WRC. Yeah, as I say, it doesn't have to be big, but it's just a good way to encourage everyone to go for that win every single round, and just really that extra bit of motivation that I think is needed, because at the moment you only really need to get a top 5 result for us top guys to sort of make our way to that final overall, so that ends up being less of a push at the top, and there's sort of less importance placed on coming first. But if you have that prize, it brings that motivation right back up, and we can see what I'm talking about. Now that we're getting to the end of the season, the top 8 is sort of pretty much sorted out, and now there's less people getting involved these last 2 rounds for the WRC 6 season. And it's just a little bit disappointing. I reckon if we had some prize on the line, everyone would still be going hard, and it would allow players to come in later in the season as well. They might not be able to make the grand final, but at least they can sort of like push for that win every single round and really make it more of a challenge. I reckon that would just be awesome. That's my first thing. Moving on to the second thing, I think this one is going to involve actually making a change to the game itself, and I think it's pretty important, so it'll be worth the developers definitely considering, and they should have done this already, I don't know why they haven't, but you need to be able to edit your car setup for online races. This has been a problem in all the current games, all the current WRC titles. It doesn't allow you to make changes to the car setup when you go and race your mates online, and that is super frustrating. You can edit your car setup for the esports events, you can't edit those setups if you want to practice online, and that forces you to just go and practice by yourself, which is really frustrating. You want to be able to practice with your friends. It just makes it so much more enjoyable when you're able to get in there and practice with your friends, tweak your setups, just like use the exact same setup you would use for the esports events, make it exactly the same like that. Change that gear ratio is the main one, and this is just going to get more people involved. It's going to encourage people to play with friends. It's just going to make the whole practicing process more enjoyable, because I can tell you from having to practice by myself for hours on end to get as good as I am in the WRC at the moment, it's not that fun. It really kind of sucks. If we could just get a group together, practice together, it would be so much better. But at the moment it doesn't make sense to do that, because you can't change your setup, so it's kind of like not the same as driving as you would drive in the Esports WRC. And I mean, honestly, that shouldn't be a big problem. I've already got setups in the game as I see it. You can change them for the esports, just not for when you're playing online, and that change would be very welcomed. But I'm going to move on to the next point now, because it's somewhat related to being able to play with friends, and that is having some sort of esports WRC forums, or some sort of place where you can go and chat to the other players and sort of have a conversation about what's going on, find out different things. It'd be good to have that focal point for players to go to, discuss what's going on, just stay up to date with all the things that are happening in Esports WRC. At the moment that's lacking. We did have that in the first season, we did have those forums, and I reckon that was cool. Apart from the whole La Premiere debacle, it was pretty good to have that and be able to chat and learn a few things about who these people are, who these other competitors are, and get some feedback from the guys that are organizing the whole thing and just get their point of view, which I thought, you know, that was awesome to just engage people in that way. I mentioned staying up to date, which brings us on to the next point, and that is the devs, definitely, or the organizers, need to keep us informed with what is going on. This year has been so shocking. They have this plan up on their website of when things are going to happen each round. For example, they should have the overall results released by Wednesday after it and update the championship standings. I don't think they've stuck to this schedule like at any round in the championship this year. It's been ridiculous. The organizers have been so slack, it's been painful. And I think we're still waiting on the highlights videos for like the previous 2 rounds, even though those were weeks ago. It's just out of control. And it makes all the players feel like the organizers don't care about the competition at all. And that's not a good way to engage people in this competition and to grow it. You're not going to grow it if people aren't engaged and aren't enjoying that aspect of it. So yeah, it's just super simple. Last year we had G-Runner, and he was pretty good at least communicating that things were happening. Even if things weren't happening the way we wanted, at least he was explaining what their thought process was and why things were being done that way. And it was much better than this year, where we've just had complete radio silence. It has been super frustrating for all us players, just getting no word from the organisers at all. And related to that is they need to tell us about the finals format. Like, even this year, we still have no word about what the finals format is going to be, and it can't be that far away because we've only got 2 rounds left to go. Or probably by the time I upload this video, we've only got 1 round left to go, and they haven't given us anything about how the season's going to end, what the format's going to be, where it's even going to be. It's pretty significant for us players. Like, this is going to be a pretty big event, and we have no information. Which, like, we're spending a lot of hours training. Like, I can say the same for the whole top 8, for all the finalists. They spend a lot of hours training, and we're just given no information. It's just like they do not care, and that's the most frustrating thing for the players. Communication is super key. And it's not like we're asking much. It's not a difficult task to just send out a message every so often and say, you know, hey, this is where we're up to, this is what we're doing, this is what we're planning. We haven't quite finished organising this part of it yet. But just having that understanding, and then we can be confident that our training isn't going to go to waste, and it's worth, you know, getting involved, it's worth being a part of. It's worth recommending it to friends as well, because that's what really it's about growing the esports to get it bigger, better for next time. And that's what this list has been. It's been a list of things that could make the esports better for next year when they do it on WRC 7. I think I had 4 main points there, and those 4 main points I've got across now, and that's going to wrap up the video. Yeah, I don't know how to end videos yet. I'm sorry, I'm awkward. Yeah.